Oh, hi guys. So let's talk about cancel culture. I don't know if you guys know, but John Cleese had an episode of his awesome show, 40 Towers, actually cancelled because it didn't really meet the, I don't know, modern woke standards of some of these networks which were coming out. So John Cleese is now making a Channel 4 program about cancel culture. Now, there is a sort of argument that some people make, but cancel culture doesn't really exist. Well, it does, quite frankly. It really, really does. You only have to Google people who have been cancelled by cancel culture, and you'll see lists of people who have lost their jobs, who have basically had their reputations damaged, people who have lost money and relationships and everything else because of cancel culture. I did put a bit of a list together, and these are only a few people who are being cancelled. So let's start with Donald Trump. Yeah, I know there is a sort of reason why people say he was cancelled, and that's mostly because he somehow, in wanting people to protest peacefully, somehow sent the message that he actually didn't want them to protest peacefully, and he actually wanted them to well, attempt an insurrection, supposedly. Rowan Atkinson actually compared cancel culture to a sort of medieval mob looking for someone to burn. And I think this is absolutely right, you know. It's really the power of social media and Twitter that you can get a bunch of people who are really passionate to all go in one direction to scare and bully Hollywood and other institutions into getting rid of people, or to basically use their collective power for reshaping the world. And of course, the downside of cancel culture, which should be really obvious, is it destroys freedom of speech. So at the end of this, I want to go over why freedom of speech is actually important, because people don't really talk about that enough. So other people who were being cancelled recently include Gina Carano, who was on the Mandalorian, a sort of Star Wars series. She played one of the most popular characters, and she was cancelled for her conservative views. Piers Morgan was recently cancelled. I'm just using quotes because he kind of partly chose to leave, but he kind of didn't think that Princess Meghan Merkle was much of a victim. Apparently, Sharon Osbourne was swiftly cancelled after Piers Morgan for defending Piers Morgan, so that sucks. I do love a bit of Sharon Osbourne, she's great. Rapper DaBaby made some problematic comments at a live gig, basically, which got him cancelled. He lost a load of sponsorship deals, and he made some stupid comments, but I don't know. Does everyone have to live in fear of saying the wrong thing now, or doing the wrong thing, or whatever, because a mob of people are going to come after you and try to destroy your career? Now, I'm not defending what he said, but if you actually believe in free speech, you know, this was just a guy kind of expressing his rather strange views, but still, he's getting no sponsorship money now. But okay, I guess it's up to people if they want to sponsor someone. GB News, when they started up, there was a massive campaign to get anyone who was sponsoring them to stop, basically. So there was a real attempt to try to shut down GB News because people didn't want the right wing, or I don't know, centrist view to be heard. And they have all kinds of people on the show. I always thought Andrew Neil was incredibly fair, and the other thing is Andrew Neil would generally take on the perspective of the person who would be best for interviewing and playing counterpoint to whoever he was interviewing. So I don't even think his slightly right-wing views are necessarily his own, but I don't know. His baby GB News was ruthlessly attacked. I won't go on for too much, but we have Matt Damon, who was cancelled for using, or rather not using, the F word in the homophobic sense after his daughter sort of said he shouldn't, and saying that he wouldn't use the F word. he was cancelled. Stephen Fry was trolled off of Twitter, but several times Stephen Fry, one of the most mild-mannered people I can possibly think of, has received a lot of threats and people basically just being horrible to him because of so many different, well, because I guess he's just honest about things, so they hate him for it. Of course, Jordan Peterson, famous psychologist, has been cancelled several times. He's been blocked from speaking. This goes for a lot of the atheists, like Richard Dawkins has been cancelled for, I think he even had one of his awards taken away because he made some comment which people found offensive. J.K. Rowling has lost a lot of fans and a lot of support and probably some sponsorship because of her comments on women menstruating. So, fair enough. She thinks that women menstruate. Crazy, I know. Marilyn Manson has been accused of sexual assault and whatnot, so he's been cancelled, but fair enough. But still, people should be innocent until proven guilty. Lauren Sothern made some banners which were considered controversial by the government, so she's been banned from the country for her controversial banners. ProJared, a online YouTuber who makes games, has been cancelled because of his personal life. Another online personality, Pogo, or Nick Bertke, was cancelled because of his homophobic comments. Well, supposedly homophobic comments. He said he didn't like effeminate men. They also tried to cancel people like Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad. He's had milkshakes poured over him. He's had a bit of a hate campaign by the media run against him when he tried to run for the EU election. Andy No, who reported on Antifa, people attempted to cancel him. They camped outside his they basically tried to disrupt bookshops who were selling his book because they didn't want people really finding out about Antifa, or I don't know. But these are just some of the people who are being cancelled, you know? And, okay, you might think, well, one stupid thing that people always say, and I always think this is ridiculous, is there's no such thing as cancel culture, it's consequence culture. Well, if you think about it for more than 2 minutes, that's absolutely ridiculous. You could take any vicious, brutal, murderous, totalitarian country and say, oh, it's just consequence culture. If you say the wrong thing, you get shot. Yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, it's just a stupid tautology. But okay, let's talk about why free speech is important. So, the world is a dark place. Quite frankly, China isn't a very nice place to live. A lot of people there have seen improvements in their life, and they've got a lot more money than they used to have, but they don't have much political freedom. And there is the supposed genocide of the Uyghur minority, or I should say reported genocide. So that's absolutely disgusting and appalling. All around the world, North Korea, apparently cannibalism has come back. All over parts of Asia and Africa and the Middle East, Afghanistan, people are suffering and dying. Climate change is really warming up. A lot of people are really suffering, not just from physical things like climate change, and people are dying because of it, but they're also dying because of an increase in a sort of authoritarian governments around the world. And the West, America, the UK, used to be beacons of freedom. We respected and loved free speech. We believed that people should be free to express themselves and their political views. And we were big enough and mature enough to allow people to express themselves without trying to destroy them and their careers and everything they believe in. And all of that's going away, you know? This cancel culture is vicious. It really is. We used to be a beacon for the world. The world could look at the West and they could say, wow, we could be like them. But now the Taliban look at the West and they say, you guys are racist. China looks at America and says, what about Black Lives Matter? You guys seem like you've got so many of your own problems. We've really lost the freedom that made the West so powerful and attractive. Science is actually based on freedom of speech, because in order for science to advance, you need to advance current narratives on different topics. I'll give you an example. Galileo, when he said that maybe the Earth goes around the sun, was persecuted by the Catholic Church, who said, that's a terrible idea, that is a blasphemous idea, and we are going to stop you from talking about it. And they did. In other words, he was cancelled. Cancel culture destroys progress, and quite frankly, freedom of speech is something that we should prize and value far more than we do currently. Anyway, guys, I won't go on anymore, but I wonder what you guys think. Please do leave a comment, tell me what you think. Maybe some people deserve to be cancelled, perhaps, but every single time you destroy someone because of something they've said or something they've done or something they've thought, or, you know, even something that they haven't done, you're kind of destroying freedom at the same time. In the end, you're going to end up with a sort of political and social landscape where everyone is scared. Everyone is a conformist. Everyone does exactly what they're supposed to. There's no individuality. There's no diversity. It's kind of ironic. People who claim to love diversity, some of them are absolutely intolerant about any kind of diversity of thought. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and share this, because this channel is tiny right now. I've got another gaming channel. If you're interested, you can go and check that out. I will speak to you guys soon.